I'm from Buffalo. Anybody realize that? If Canada someday ever attacked Buffalo, I'm sorry, my friends, there would be no Canada the next day, right? Right? I love Canada, but we did have the War of 1812, and they did burn Buffalo, so there might be a little conflict here. But think about that. That is a natural reaction. You have a right to defend yourself and to make sure it never happens again. And that is Israel's right.
I like the Canada analogy because it clarifies the thinking on it, right? So let's say that Canada had bombed Buffalo. I mean, that would be bizarre, but I would be livid. We'd have stories about moms and daughters and children that died together and all the awful things that happened, right? So that's why I would try to murder at least 10,000 people in Vancouver, 10,000 in Ottawa, 10,000 in Toronto, because just in case, And I hear that the guys who did the bombing were somewhere in there. I mean, maybe a couple of them were in Vancouver, so we just blew up half of Vancouver. Because according to Hochul's logic, if anyone attacks us from a certain geographic area, we should murder innocent civilians in that area ad nauseum, ad infinitum. I mean, maybe we'll get a couple of the bad guys too. I mean, they're under the ground, they're in the tunnels. Probably not, but maybe. And then we can just send our giant armies, and then we can kill grandmothers and little babies. And when we bomb the buildings in Ottawa and Calgary, the cement will collapse in and crush babies' heads. But hey, they had it coming. They had it coming because a couple of them, or a bunch of them, a whole bunch of them killed in terrible ways people in Buffalo. That's why we killed people who didn't do that. And then imagine we wiped out 80% of the buildings in Canada, just leveled the entire country. And then we went, ha, Canada, innocent civilians, you're all dead. And by the way, from now on, we're occupying you to the end of time. You'll no longer have any rights. You'll have to ask permission for everything. If you do anything that we don't like, we'll cut off all your power, electricity, food, we'll starve you, humiliate you, etc. Yeah, that analogy seems just right. Now, would anyone in their right mind do that to Canada? Even if they bombed Buffalo, even if they went into Buffalo and killed 1,200 people. Nobody in their right mind would do that to Canada because Canadian lives matter. They're pretty similar to us, they look like us, they're right next to us, they speak like us. They're good Western lives. They're precious and valuable, and they should be. Palestinian lives, on the other hand, well, you see what's happening, and Governor Hochul sees what's happening, and she celebrates it.